It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard. You liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him. He feels compelled to try to act like us. He loses his identity and his racial anger, if he has any. He becomes alien to his brothers. They realize he sold them out and they grow to hate him. He becomes worthless to them and safe for us. No, thank you. In fact, in his love for the creature comforts, except for his color, he's become one of us.
Has anybody ever touched a cloud before? Happy Monday. You're tuned into Feedback, a positive image production by Hood Research. My name is Theo Broden, co-founder of Hood Research, and my co-host.
Thabiti, and we welcome you to the program.
Absolutely, and good morning to all of you. Thank you for tuning in. I want to say good morning to Rosa and to Ron and to Barbara and to Vera and Jay way on the east side. Had a wonderful dinner fundraiser this past Saturday, and we enjoyed it thoroughly. And as we do annually, I should say, he puts on a wonderful fundraiser. It was very, very enjoyable. I want to say good morning to Tom. He's been working hard on something that would change our charter, and I think that's a good thing. There are so many things that are going on. You all got to tune in, talk, call in, let us know. We're going to have a, how you might say, potpourri this morning, I guess. For those of you who are interested in helping us sponsor this program, please write your check or money order out to Hood Research. But if you prefer to write it out to Watkins Broadcasting Company, we don't have any objection to that. But we ask that you mail it to P.O. Box 4416, Detroit, Michigan 48204. Again, the P.O. Box is 4416, Detroit, Michigan 48204. The website is hoodresearch.org. Telephone numbers, area code 248-234-2371. Again, it's area code 248-234-2371. And thank you so much of those of you who are already helping to sponsor this program. Thabiti, have somebody want to say good morning to?
I missed you guys last week. Life brings issues, and issues bring requirements. But I want to give a shout out to Ruth Ann, to Gwen, to Cheryl D., to Brother Shane, Sister Jackie, and Jackie Bowman, and Sister Frida Washington, and Brother Smith Bay. These are very conscious people. And I ask you to have your family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, and acquaintances tune in also, and to have pen and paper handy for information you may want to record.
Absolutely. And good morning to Claire Clibertine and to Gladys. And the numbers here are 868-4336, 313-868-4336. The fires that have taken place in California, this is like the third huge fire in like within the past 6 months, I guess. And they've reported so far 79 people are dead, and they have thousands that are missing. So we ask that you pray for the safety and the recovery of people out there. And somebody, I talked to Attorney Rosenbaum, who was at this community meeting last week, and he was saying that there are a lot of people who worked in the area. It's not just people who lived in the area of Thousand Oaks and lost their properties, and some, of course, lost lives. But the people who worked in the areas now have no jobs, no income. Of course, they, I would hope that California has an unemployment program, as we have here, compensation, So they would be able to apply, but it's going to make it even difficult for that because as the businesses are burned down, don't know whether their computers, hard drives, etc., are destroyed as well. There is a system that has been established here recently in the cloud so that you can forward information there, and hopefully it's retrievable. But it's a lot of serious, issues with that.
And I'm going to add to that, but we're going to entertain this caller now,
Sure.
find out what their views are.
Okay.
Hello, caller, you're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Good morning, So,
Happy
I
morning.
was just calling to let everybody know about the charter meeting coming up Tuesday, tomorrow,
Okay.
on the 13th floor.
Oh, swearing in, right?
They're doing, yes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
swearing
it's the
in.
swearing in.
Right. Uh-huh.
And we're hoping that the votes get the right chairpersons in.
Yes.
I would like to see Joanna and Nicole Small.
Right.
And Detroit Future City would like to see Nicole Small and Osborne. I think his name is Osborne.
Uh-huh.
But just for your listeners to know, if they're interested, 6 p.m. tomorrow in the auditorium, I believe the 13th floor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's open to the public if you guys want to, join in. And we all need to get the schedule so we can keep up on how they vote and who they vote for. Because I'm
Yes.
afraid we got a few of them that it's already bought, sold, and work for corporate greed and not the people's need.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for taking my call. I will
Oh,
continue
no,
to
I'm
listen.
glad that you called with that information. That will be this
you're welcome.
Tuesday. That will be the 20th of November. Is that
Yes,
right? Okay.
Tuesday, tomorrow,
The 20th of November, the
Yes.
swearing in of those elected city charter
Commissioners.
members. Okay.
Yes, charter commission.
Uh-huh,
Yes.
charter commissioners. And it's at 6 p.m.
Yes.
in the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center, formerly known
13th
as
floor.
the City County Building on the 13th floor. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. Okay.
Thank you so much. Love you all. I'll call back if I have some new information.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
All righty.
And before we go to this next call, I want to add that as Theo and I were coming over, we were kind of talking about how many people are not really engaged in things that affect their life. Now, this would be a great opportunity for those of you who can to go down there and become familiar with who the new charter commissioners are. Just to be in the presence of these kind of formal settings to get an understanding, and then when something comes up later on, you get the opportunity to really know, well, I was there, and so I'm familiar with, as Sly Soul said, some of the people that are involved. We have to do that, and it's only one day, so it's not like it's going to really blow your whole day or anything. You got everything before 6 o'clock that you can engage in, but we have to carve out time for the things that are truly important, because whether we do or not, our lives will be affected by it. But at least if we have a working knowledge, a basic or fundamental understanding of what's going on, it's better than just not knowing at all. So.
Right.
If you can, please attend tomorrow's swearing-in ceremony at 6 p.m., 13th floor of the Coleman Young Municipal Center, and become familiar with your new charter commissioners.
That's right.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Yeah, my name is Tyrone. I'm reviewing you from 33. I wanted to know what you think about the governor since the Republican leading the House in the legislature, in the Senate. Do you think she gonna be able to do away with the retiree tax? Do you think some of these things that Snyder put in place, she gonna be able to overcome them?
Well, she has stated that those are things that she's going to address. Now,
Oh,
whether she's going to be able to completely eliminate it, we have to wait and see what kind of negotiations, that's the best way to put it, are going to take place. Because at this point, the Republicans may say, well, you want the tax relieved off of the retirees. Well, we want you to do X, Y, Z. So oftentimes it's a matter of horse trading. Wonder who made that up. Horse trading. But anyway, she has stated that she's going to work to eliminate it.
oh, okay. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would just add quickly too that one of the things I listened to a lot of information shows, and of course you have to, as we also discussed on the way in, you have to be discerning in terms of knowing what is and what is not true, because there's so much information out here. But it was said that since the Republicans still control the Senate, basically if she can sway 2 to 3 Republicans, since that's the slight majority lead that they have in the House, that she can actually get some things done. And one guy who I don't really care for, but I mean, even with the bad, sometimes they got a good idea. But Peter Lucido of Macomb said that he was willing, this was yesterday on National Public Television, or NPR, said that there are some things that he's willing to negotiate. And I go along with you, Theo. They always attach something to something else just to see what they can get. Say, well, you wash my left hand, I wash your right hand. We'll be all right. I don't know.
Right, that negotiating. Anyway, there is something that I have been really wondering about, and if I remember right, in the Constitution, it does not say that appropriations make a law permanent. That's interesting, isn't it?
Very
But
interesting.
they have been lying, telling the people that, well, we add appropriation to it and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, well.
Well, that's kind of similar to this guy in the White House saying, with an executive order, I can do this, and then being called out and say, well, no, really, your powers don't go that far. So
Right.
that's why we have to stay on their
I know
case.
that's right.
And we must have sparked the interest. We got a couple more callers.
Okay.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Oh, quickly, I was calling back because there's some things going on. I don't know. I'm hopeful that it's not. But they're already saying that she has chosen Mike Dugan's son to be the transition team. And folks are starting to wonder why isn't what's the young man that she got on her team now, why isn't he leading the transitional team? So we're starting to already get a little leary, and I'm hoping it's fake
No,
news.
that's right.
Because
Well, you know,
I'm
it's-
telling you, I'm already suspicious of us
Let's say you
putting me in
suspect.
closet.
We should be.
Republicans.
Oh, Lord.
And so I just hope that, it seemed like Darling would be the transitional team ahead of it anyway, instead of somebody that I, don't feel comfortable.
It
I
does.
really
it does.
feel
Supposedly,
not
the
Republican.
the names of the members of the transition team are supposed to be on the internet.
I know
Oh,
Mark
okay.
I didn't check
Bernstein
it out, but it's supposed to be on there. Right, Mark Bernstein
is one of them.
supposedly was supposed to be leading it. Well, you never know. Things,
Right.
change.
So, I'm hoping that's fake news, but it's all over Facebook that she
Oh,
appointed
Mm.
Mike Dugan's son to
Oh,
lead the
boy.
transition team, and I'm not
Yeah.
feeling that at all.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call you back on the next chapter.
Episode on the next chapter. Okay.
On the
You
next
know-
episode.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, the gentleman that called first who was asking about Gretchen Whitmer, the governor, and things that she was going to do. I also heard her say that she is going to review, or most likely have a committee review the cases of our young men who are in prison for minor offenses with the marijuana. That would be those who have been charged and convicted under the state law. She does not have power under the federal law, only the state law. She's the governor of the state.
Before we go to the call, I just want to ask our engineer to post the call-in numbers for the viewers who may be new. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Comcast. Good morning, Queen. Good morning, big brother.
Well,
Good morning,
Monday.
brother.
Queen, you were speaking about the fires out in California.
Yes.
Those fires, that's a part of God's judgment that's on America. America is a place that is preserved for God himself. She's the most powerful nation on the planet. And she's still holding the family of God hostage. And so God wants America to let us go. And the problem is, understand, you do have a man that's in office that is a possibility that he may recognize what's going on and do what's necessary. But if not, what you're seeing in California is only the beginning. It's going to get worse and worse and worse because it's written in the scriptures. You know, and God himself came and revealed that to us, you know, from his mouth or whatever. So God's Messiah is actually working. And it's going to get worse and worse, not only for them, but it's going to get worse for us because we refuse to go and do for ourselves. And our time is up in serving them. And America, understand, has to turn loose. Trump is the 45th president. 4 and 5 is 9. 9 is the number of completion. When a woman gets in the 9th month, she has to give that child up. And you read about the children of Israel. What is all referring to us, because when you research the word Israel, Israel represents a total white race. And our time and our birth is up. Either she give us up or we'll both wind up dying. And that's what time it is. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get any better.
So what should we do? What should we do? What should we do?
What we should do is come together and get behind God's vicegerent on earth, which a lot of us, we don't want to accept because, you know, we don't love ourselves enough. But that's Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's God's vicegerent. God is speaking through Minister Farrakhan, and he's warning not only us, not only America, but he's warning everybody on the planet. And God, like I said, we don't realize who we really are. And it's our time to separate. It's our time to go for self. Just like what you see the state of Israel is and how that was set up in 1948. That's what's supposed to have happened to us. Mm-hmm. But they have so much hatred for the black man and woman that they ain't willing to admit, understand, that the true children of Israel is the black man and woman here in the hills of North America, still running around in the slave master's name. The very people of God. But keep watching. 2019 is going to be a real serious year, Queen, because the number 19 is the number of God. And there's a lot that's going to take place in 2019. So prepare ourselves for the worst.
All right. Thank you.
Have a blessed day. Love both of you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
You know, it's interesting. Someone gave me a book at work 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've got a large library, but I didn't have this one in there, and I'm just beginning to read, but it's The Miseducation of the Negro. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that, and I'm still going through it, so there's a lot that I can't comment on, but one of the things they were saying is, speaking of the church, they were talking about how the two major churches at that time, and this would be right after emancipation going on into the earlier 20th century, they were talking about the Baptist and Methodist Church being the two largest churches. Mm-hmm. And to the brother's point, you know, what we have is a couple of things. One, I agree, we don't know ourselves, because even in the educational system, we don't know about the glorious days when we built kingdoms in Africa like Songhai, Timbuktu, etc. That right there gives a certain sense of self, and then you can hold your head higher in pride knowing that. And the second thing is that even with this miseducation that we receive here in America, and I was discussing this with Theo on the way over, is that we have to go outside the bounds or outside the box. They say, think outside the box. Well, we have to look outside the box too for knowledge as well. If we just follow the script that we've been given, then the only thing, it's like if you train a dog, all he can do is roll over and flip, and that's it. Then you limit his ability. But if that dog is either taught by someone else or just by instinct learns things, then it becomes a lot freer. So the only way we can really free ourselves is to be free from a strict indoctrination that they're not going to surrender. We can forget that. They're going to tighten up, but they're not going to let go of the control that they have over the minds. I feel like we have to make that decision individually and collectively. And as Theo knows, I always bring up the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, but the one I love the most is cooperative economics.
Oh, yes.
Your dollars speak a whole lot more than your mouth will.
That's right. That's right. That's some of the power that we do have. We talk about the power of the vote and having elected officials to represent us on the governmental level. But on the neighborhood level, the city level, state level, you have control over the money that's in your pocket. And you are not forced to spend it on the latest and the most expensive, whatever it happens to be. It's interesting. Reggie Crawford, the co-founder of Hood Research, was going out one night and he saw this line of people. And it's long line, and the line kept getting longer. So he went over to find out why were they standing in line. And they were in line to get the latest video game. And we've seen lines as far as the gym shoes. Remember the latest gym shoe style? Folks are standing in long lines for that. But they are not the kind of long lines we need, like going to the school board meetings, the school LSCO meetings. For anybody who doesn't know, it used to be called PTA, Parent Teachers Association. And those are the lines that we need to create. Those are the lines that we need to have people coming to find out about the progress of the next citizens that are going to stand beside us and help us improve the quality of life right here where we live, right?
Exactly. And now we're going to hear what the callers think.
Uh-huh.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Flash phone, I have to call back. The FBI is arresting folks for a Facebook post. What we must understand,
Facebook post.
we're still being studied and surveillance in order to program, indoctrinate, infiltrate, and manipulate. So when you know that you know what's going on, you do have to arm yourself politically, spiritually, in order to fight against these forces that's constantly, like I said, manipulating and indoctrinating and infiltrating. So you just have to know what to do, when to go, when to fold. And like you said, Theo, get involved. We have to get involved in the political world. And we have to know that our spirits and the power is in us, but it's no good if we don't use it.
That's right.
So work together, unite, educate, deliberate, and you'll be straight. Thank you for taking my call.
Our poet.
I like that. I like that.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Yes. Good morning, fellow patriots.
Well, happy
Good morning.
Monday, Les.
Happy Monday, Theo and Tabuti. You keep saying we're miseducating our children when we keep on miseducating ourselves, when we don't understand the process or where we are.
Agreed.
You know, I always consider Africa the fatherland and this America is the motherland because that was the beginning. This is the end game. We on the last frontier. This is the this is the final frontier of the world of existence. And in the short time that we've been here, we have become number one. The American black man and woman are the number one on the planet. So we keep saying miseducating ourselves. How can we keep doing that? All we got to do is read about ourselves. I've read about myself since I was 8 years old. That's who I looked at. Mainstream. I keep talking about mainstream media. That's their world. That's not ours. Our mainstream, to me, WHPR, not WHPS, has been, a leading information center for black, people, where we had folks like Theo and we had Tom Pope and we got people that call in like Sly, call in and bring information to us, and information is power.
That's
See,
right.
we have it right here in our hand, and we don't understand it. I just heard the last caller, always want to talk about the religious factor on it. This is a religious factor. We are the spiritual being of the world. We are the guiders of the world. We just buried the Queen of Soul. She was known around the world. Muhammad Ali, known around the world. Every time we look at a black person, they've been, like the Williams sisters. We on top of the food chain. That's why they're keeping their foot on. If we don't understand that, we lost in America. And we keep not teaching our children the great responsibility of being an American.
Yeah.
And it is
Good
a great responsibility for us to be American.
It is. It really is a great responsibility. I agree with you there.
Yeah, great points, brother.
Thank you so much for that. Now, speaking of food, I heard something is nauseating, just to say the least, about it. And that is that in the women's prison, they have found maggots in the food. Maggots in the food. Can you imagine that?
Well,
And,
I work in a correctional facility, but it's been some years ago. It's always been food with maggots in it in any particular food serving organization if they keep the food around too long.
Right.
What?
So, that is the responsibility of the kitchen staff is to make sure the food is fresh.
Right.
And if they're not doing their job, then it's the problem. Then they should be fired. But I've heard that story even when I was working there, and that was some 15 years ago or more.
And it hasn't changed yet.
The
health. Wait now, when you were there, weren't there any health inspectors? Isn't there some kind of policy or control or what have you? I mean, I understand people are there because they've been convicted of a crime. Well, we're already paying, $35,000-$40,000 per person per year, and now they want to make them sick to make the bill go higher. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it seems like the social responsibilities that we have for our government is being let go. They seem to be less people hired in the spots to look out for the American people. And that seems to be the goal, is to let corporate be responsible for their own watchdog organization. And then that's in the history that I've been here, that don't work.
Yeah.
We need, like you were talking about, the prison oversight. I mean, police oversight. We need that. That's an important issue. Police oversight is an important issue. That's our money. And anybody go against police oversight is just want to have a gangster organization. And that's one of the police unions. People saying that. I saw Mr. Diaz. He was saying that about, we don't need no police oversight. See, he's the number one gangster in America. The police union is the number one gangsters in America.
Well, we are going to have to be very, very vigilant and participate with the charter commissioners. And we've been told they're going to have meetings around the community, around the city, attend those, and be watchful that they do not take the police oversight out of that city charter.
I'm so hopeful that we got two strong individuals on that charter commission. You know, with Joanne Underwood and Nicole Small.
Right.
You know, I can sleep well at night, but I will be attending the charter meetings like I did the last time
That's
the
right.
charter came out to be
That's
revised.
right. Okay.
So, but I want to tell everybody, get your children involved in this process. Love America. We the number one on the planet, and we should be proud of that. We made it number one. We made America number one.
Right.
Because of our labor, our effort, our intellectual capacity to understand what's better for America. We the ones. We have been the what do you call it? We have been the watchdog of America.
Right.
We have been the conscience of America.
That's
And
right.
let's not give that up, and teach our children how proud to be an American they are, because you ain't got folks just trying to get over here for no reason, okay?
That's right. All
All
right.
right, they
Thank you.
ain't trying to break into Mexico. They ain't trying to
They
break
trying
into
to-
Afghanistan. They ain't trying to break into nowhere but America,
They're trying
okay?
to break in here. All right. Thanks so much
Okay,
for
now,
that
y'all have a
input.
great one.
All
Thanks.
right.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
America, America.
Okay.
This is
How are you today? Happy Monday.
Lines are still full.
Gotcha.
I feel like $1 billion.
Oh, yes.
Hey, God is good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this governor and Granholm, it ain't no difference between Granholm and this governor. You know, the colored people, the NAACP, the churches, everybody, they made more of a fuss over Granholm and this governor that they did when Joanne was running for council, when our sister, smart young lady from the attorney's office, Sharon McBell, was running for mayor. They make more fuss and more yard signs and talk about these white potential governors than they did our sisters running. I don't understand. Well, I do understand.
Well, more of them.
You know, the spending revolution, I'm up on Avenue of Fashion.
You're gonna have
And
to
it's
call
a lot
back because you're going in and out. You're
Oh,
going
I'm
in
still
and out. You
going
gotta
in and-
call me. Call back. We can't. We're hearing every other sentence.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please? Hello, caller.
Yes, I'm viewing you on channel 33.
Thank you. Your name?
My name's G. Can I leave it at that?
Thanks for calling.
Okay, God bless. My question is, the political system that we find ourselves in,
Mm-hmm.
we know for the past several hundred years that the political system is the reason for your incarceration, your slavery, the taking of your property, the incarceration of your young. The political system.
Okay, so what should we do about it?
Okay, I'm trying to get to that point. How do you trust a political system that is guaranteed to change the rules every time that you vote or do anything? How do you expect that political system to free you? That's my question. Thank you.
Oh, he's asking us the question. Did he go? Well, I think that it is easier to change a system if you're inside the system than if you're outside the system throwing rocks.
I would just add one of the things that I always think about, okay, you know, let's say we look at team sports as an analogy, and we consider the fact that you got 11 men on the Detroit Lions. But if only 6 of them or 5 of them are really trying to win, and the other 6 or 7 who are all part of the same team or are going to be affected the same way don't participate, then you can't expect much from that team to win. So part of the problem I see is that there's just not enough engagement. If I'm trying to push a car by myself, my car broke down, I'm got my hand on the steering wheel and I'm trying to push the thing, I might make some progress, but if I've got people helping me, I'll make more progress. So I would say in the same context with the political system, that the more engaged you are, numbers have always been the thing that tilts something one way or another. There's even an African proverb that says, sticks in a bundle are rarely broken, because it's enough of them there that there's the strength within it. So part of what we have to do, even with the political system, just like the brother spoke earlier about religious, we have to engage in so many different arenas, and we should, because all of those things involve us. So I don't look at religion and following one person as a answer to all of our problems, nor is the political system an answer. There's an educational system, there's a lot of things, but it only works when you have enough voices who speak up on it. And I'm going to coming to the callers, but one of the things I had discussed with Theo, we were talking about educational system and how they removed a lot of the vocational classes, pretty much all of them, and the same thing with cursive writing and certain other things that we grew up with. If you go to certain communities, be it Livonia, Troy, Birmingham, or whatever, those people will get out there and raise hell. We see them on the 6 o'clock news. They're up there, they're shouting the people down, saying, okay, yeah, well, we know what to do with you. I don't see too many of us at those meetings doing the same thing. Most of us will say, well, we're just going to surrender our control to these people and hope that they have our best interests. It's not going to work.
Right. And phonics. Don't forget phonics.
Yes.
Lord help us. Go ahead.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
This brother Jihad.
Yes.
Brother, I'm calling back, but there's a scripture you need to look at, and that's the scripture dealing with in Deuteronomy dealing with Moses. Pharaoh made a statement. He said, "Me and my people are wicked." And when you do the research on the history of that, you find that Pharaoh represented a government. And when you read about America, America is the youngest country on the planet. And you read about a mystery Babylon. And when you break the word down, Babylon in Hebrew and in Latin, you'll find that Babylon means baby lion. And the mother lion is Great Britain. And you read about understanding eagle and a carcass gathered, you would find a carcass. A carcass is something that once had life, which is symbolic of black people in America that once were great people, and now they are dead spiritually, morally, physically. They are dead. And we're amongst a people who actually kill us through the water, through the food, through the air. And we're still trying to love a people that by nature was not made understand to accept us. And so when we talk about understand separation, that's a must. And the reason is for that, understand, God has a job for us or whatever. We have served our 400 years of servitude to these people. And all this can be backed up in scriptures.
Oh, okay.
We got to wake up fast, Queen.
Jihad,
Big brother.
we have a full load of calls.
Yes,
we have
ma'am.
to go on to them, but I thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you both. Love you.
Thank you, brother. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Good morning. This is Dee Dee. How you doing?
Hey, happy Monday, Dee Dee.
Hi. I wanted to just quickly, what's your opinion on the vote that they had down in Georgia compared to Janet Winfrey and the machines and things that we have here in Detroit?
Well, it sounds like some similar actions took place in Georgia, and there was supposed to be a recount, but can we be sure that the recount is honest? I've heard conversations on various programs about the fact that she expects to run again and to win because people are now understanding about the corruption that they have there. So I don't know. One can only hope that the people will get behind her and continue to.
Isn't it strange, like the little things being done, like with Reverend up in Benhart, Reverend Pickney?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay, and then this big thing about us. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, you know, and I'm glad that you did. You know, Sam Black calls in and he shares the
Federalist
people
Society.
that he researches that are part of the Federalist Society, and that Federalist Society is in operation to use laws against us for one, and laws against others that they want to push aside while they step on us to lift themselves up. And it would be interesting to find out if her opponent is part of the Federalist Society.
The Supreme Court is most of it, isn't it?
Oh, we know that Brett Kavanaugh certainly is a member of the Federalist Society. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to let other callers call in, but thank you for the input.
Oh, thank you for tuning in.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Yeah, this is our chair calling back. Is the reception any good?
Yeah, that's better. Yes. Go ahead.
Oh. Yeah. All
You're
right. R.J. Watkins, that's my man. Theo, that's the you the real governor. You know that. You the real governor. You the real governor.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hey, this guy, he's talking about maggots and food poisoning in the prison in the new plantation. Didn't Service Master and Aramark have that food contract?
Aramark. I don't know if they had the prison food, but they surely had the contract for DPS for a while. My understanding is their contract was not renewed. They also had a contract somewhere in Chicago. I don't know if they've canceled theirs, but it was poor quality.
This, spending revolution is an easy revolution.
Oh, agreed.
It won't cost colored people their lives or go to jail. You know, it won't cause the neighborhood to burn down to the ground. Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. That was the slogan in California.
Right. They don't realize how much power
this spending
they
revolution. I'm appealing to everybody that's listening to your program. Go up on the Avenue of Fashion. This is Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
On Black Avenue of Fashion in Black Detroit.
You're right.
In the Black ghetto.
Right.
In the Black hood. Instead of going out to Lakeside and Somerset and 50 Mile Road, burning up $5 a gallon gas. Please, Negroes.
Yeah.
I was up on Avenue of Fashion last Good Friday, and the place was nobody up there at all but the store owners.
A lot of it has to do.
6.
A lot of it has to do with that concrete wall in the middle of the street that's supposed to be coming down in the spring. Don't know why they got to wait so long.
Oh,
and
they gonna take that divider. Wait a minute.
Bicycle lanes. Don't forget the stupid bicycle lanes.
Are they gonna take that island out of the avenue?
Yes, supposedly in the spring.
Oh yeah,
supposedly. That's waiting too long from now, but hey, we're gonna tell you.
But I mean, that's good, cause that's messed up all them businesses. You can't get in their home if you live on the east
Right. Get rid of the bicycle lanes too. You know they had 2
Yeah,
accidents up
right.
there. A bicycle.
You know, I noticed that
bicycle
every
ran into a
time
car,
I ride
Acha.
by Mike Duggan's White Restaurant,
What?
down the street from the black man, and they always be double parked. They always be double parked. I ain't never seen people double park on Avenue of Fashion until Mike Duggan put his White Restaurant up there. And the police is stopping cars all around the double park. They're not messing with the cars in front of that White Restaurant. But I noticed they have stepped up driving while black on the Avenue of Fashion. Well, it's probably 7 Mile too. Probably all over the city. But people talk about the Cracker Barrel. I was at church, and these niggas talking about Cracker Barrel. I say, y'all going to the cracker store? And then this one lady told me, no, the Cracker Barrel. I say, the cracker. Y'all going to the cracker. So the day after tomorrow, the day is Monday. Friday is Black Hour Friday. Every day is ours. I'm appealing to the consciousness of people that have been castrated, sodomized, raped, lynched, tarred, feathered, drugged behind trucks. Please go and get a pair of socks or a shirt, some African garments, a garb or a kente cloth.
That's
get
right.
Food.
And shop on the Avenue of Fashion. And all the stores in the city of Detroit.
What I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Acha. We have some others on the line.
God
We're getting down on time. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Right. And remember, 16400 West 7 Mile Road is on the corner of Asbury Park. 16400 West 7 Mile Road. Go ahead.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
This is Minister Barack, Comcast 91.
Thank you,
little by little, I'm starting to switch from thinking of three-component units here, the corporations, the government, and the people. I'm starting to believe that the government is also a corporation, a public corporation, but it is a corporation.
Yep.
And therefore, we only are dealing with two entities, the corporations versus the people. Yep. I heard one caller say, Pharaoh, that let my people go to the children of Israel, was represent the government. So if we look at it from that aspect, we will know that the government is also a part of the corporate entity that is fighting against us, the people. We are also dealing with the fact that this is a transformational period. We must reconnect by the Holy Spirit back to the Creator. We are spiritually dead because of Adam and Eve's sin. And so we have real people who have been born again, reconnected by their spirit back to God's spirit. And we have false people. That is what the scripture meant when it says that the stranger within you will rise up very high and you will come down very low. So we have people that have a stranger, as Sabiti said, that slave mentality is in them, that false self is in them, that false slave name they still are possessing. They are not in a position to lead us in a spiritual battle. We need all the information as we are gathering of man's rules and man's law, but the higher authority is God's Spirit.
Well, thank you so much for your input. The interesting thing, however, is churches are corporations too. Next.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Oh, Dio, you just said it. That is so true. I was just calling about the fake drainage tax. People need to know that the rain tax, the drainage rates are fiercely challenging our residents, business owners, operators, faith-based institutions. Said that the charge is unreasonably expensive. and calculated, and some are even suing the city, claiming the charge is actually an unconstitutional tax in violation of Michigan's Hadley Amendment. So So everybody study that tax fee before y'all give up y'all money.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks.
Hello, caller, you're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us? We are down on time.
Good morning. This is Linda, Comcast 91. I just wanted to find out about the White Duggan restaurant on Livernois. What is it, so I can make sure I stay away from it? I heard Hot call it out. And I'm just, because I go up on the Avenue of Fashion all the time. So I just want to know if I missed something. And I'll hang up and listen.
Okay, thank you. He didn't give us a name, but I'm sure he'll call in next week or either tomorrow on Carl Williams' show, HR Legal, and he can give the name of that restaurant. Because I don't know which one he was referring to. But I do want to thank all of you for calling, and especially for calling at the beginning of the show. Usually you don't call in until the show's half over, but this was very good today. Thank you so much. And as I say at the end of the show, it's not necessary for you to know everything. What is necessary is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. We at Hood Research seek out as much information as we can to share to help us all make better informed decisions. And there's a creed that the Optimist Club has. It's very positive. We want to be uplifting. Thanksgiving is coming. We all have things to be thankful for. What is it to be?
Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet, to make all your friends feel that there is something in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, and finally to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. And now I ask you to stay tuned for Get in the Know with Marley B.